Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy with a honestly pretty weird what if I'm being honest. But the only reason why I did it is because I'm actually pretty close to finishing it in my spare time, so I thought why not? And honestly because I thought it'd honestly be a pretty good series to make. But the reason why I'm talking to you like this, like I've barely done in a while instead of just getting to the story, is to explain you. You is a character from the manhwa or webtoon, whatever you want to call it, named the Boxer, in which he starts out as a completely shell of a human being and by the end becomes an actual person and finds some light in his life because he had a very tragic backstory. I'm not gonna expose all of that. It's a very tragic, very real, relatable story, and I think that you would very much enjoy reading it. So go check it out on Webtoon or whatever websites you use. But let me explain Yu's characteristics, or I guess in this case I should say powers, because he is insanely inhuman. If we're gonna start off, let's begin with his inhumane vision, as it can be labeled as temporal vision, not just kinetic. He sees things as if he was from another dimension. Every punch thrown at him feels like it's going in slow motion, to the point where he has never been hit once in this entire series until the end. And even then, he let it happen. Aside from that, he is also extremely physically gifted, as he was able to riddle holes into tough sandbags as just a beginner in boxing and barely any muscle on. He also is extremely fast, as his punches can connect with such speed that they shred through skin as if a razor sliced through you. He's also extremely calm and rarely ever gets, offended. He just does what he does because he has to or he's interested. In that case, I guess he's a very alike to Nagi, but he is nowhere near lazy. Regardless, that is who Isagi will be embodying in this what if. And if you want to know more about you, just go on Wiki, search him up, you, the boxer, or go read the webtoon. It's a very fun read, seriously. But yeah, let's begin, shall we? We begin with the 17-year-old Isagi as he walks back home from school with his hands in his pockets as the cold air brushed past his face. Man, it's cold. He at that moment would then see up ahead some kids as the three would be passing a football back and forth when accidentally one of them kicks it towards Isagi. "Oh, watch out!" As the ball nears his face, just in time, he lowers his forehead, hitting it down to his feet and catches it as if using his feet like his hands. Whoa, that's so cool. Isagi, holding the ball, would then let it roll back to the ground, and as the kids see this, they thank him, saying that he was really good at soccer, or football. I'm going to refer to it as football, because I hate saying soccer. Do you play football, mister? Mister, I'm not that old. No, I don't play. Be more careful. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Thanks. Yeah, thank you. He then continued about his way and heads home, as when he arrived, night had fallen. He opens the door to his house and would reach down, taking off his shoes, when he heard his mom and looked up. "Hi. So how was school?" Io asked, standing right in front of the boy. As he took off his shoes, Isagi walked with her to the kitchen where his father would be sitting at the dining table, and his mother would set down plates of food for Isagi, who, as he sat down, said school was pretty okay. "Come on, put a little enthusiasm behind it," said Issei. "I am being enthusiastic though," said Isagi, as he would start eating, and the two parents would look at each other before looking back at their son. "Sweetie, have you ever thought of doing football?" asked Io. "I don't care what I do in the future, but sure." Io then brings out an envelope and it says to come to the Japanese Football Association. Taking the envelope, Isagi would then open it, being confused, asking why they would send him anything. "Japanese improvement projects. I don't even play football." "Well, it's a great opportunity, right?" said Issei. You said you don't mind what you do, so maybe you could try. It could be fun. Isagi then suspiciously looks at both of them. "You guys are gonna say something about me making friends, aren't you?" "Yes!" Hugging him tightly, Io says that it's not healthy to stay alone all the time, and Isagi says, "But I do have friends. I have a fish tank full of them." "They died yesterday," yells Issei. "Oh, then I have no friends. Touche." The two would then sigh as Io then lets go of him and says that he has to at least try and go tomorrow. Even if you don't make friends, you might end up liking football. You've played with people before, you used to when you were a kid. Isagi then thinks on this and sighs, saying, "Sure, and the parents would scream with happiness as Issei would shoot some confetti into the sky. Seriously? It's just a sport. Yeah, but you're being called by the association, says he. I mean, this calls for a celebration. We then cut to the next day as Isagi would arrive at the designated spot. He walks past the gates and enters the grounds of the Japanese Union building, and from behind he hears someone running up and turns to see Ryosuke Kira. He's that guy that went to finals, he thinks to himself. As he meets eyes with Kira, the boy would smile and wave, and Isagi, who with the look of confusion waves back, turns and goes about his own way, and he found it suspicious that he acted so friendly because they've never met each other before. So they enter the building, but Isagi finds himself being stared down, at which point he realizes how huge of a contrast this is to Kira's personality. I take it back, I want the smile, he thinks to himself. Kira would then run in and be surprised and a bit nervous at how many prominent geniuses or known young players from Japan were gathered here. They had different heights, demeanors, haircuts, you name it. Each were different in their own way and brought on about their own protagonist-like feeling. Wait, are all these guys strikers? Thinks Kira. A voice at that moment is then heard as all the lights would go out, leaving only one that would be shined upon one man. Welcome, all 300 of you. You've been brought here and chosen based on my criteria and biases. My name is Jinpachi Ego. My job is to make a capable team that will win the World Cup. As they all began to murmur, the kids wondered who this guy was, as he was not a recognizable figure in the world of football or sports in general, and they were denying his credentials. Ego, however, continued talking as a projection would be put on the walls behind him, and he said they were here to join Blue Lock. From now on, they will live in the facility, follow a strict regimen, and most importantly, the careers as football players were over. However, if you stick through it, I guarantee you will be the best striker in the world. These words leave them all baffled, but he says it with such bravado that it almost sounds believable. Isagi then goes to raise his hand and ask something, but Kira would then do it before him, as he states, I can't just throw my team away. For most of us, our teams are a priority, and we want to achieve something together. Yeah, he's right. We stay as a team. I promise to take my team to nationals. I mean, all of us are going. What the hell is this guy talking about? They're all in agreement, but Isagi just wants to ask something, but before he can, Ego would then interrupt him. If you think that way, then you can lock off. These words leave them surprised. Meanwhile, Isagi starts to get annoyed, and Ego says to throw away those ideals they have embodied up to this point because it's bullshit, as Japan is second rate as good as they may be. Kira would counter this, saying that stars and players who have embodied the ideals that they are following are amazing. They're my superstars, my heroes. Why the hell would I give a damn? The teams you're talking about haven't won a World Cup, have they? I'll give you an actual good example. Multiple, in fact. He goes on to mention Noah, who in their world is basically the epitome of skills of soccer, football. He mentions Messi, Ronaldo, Pele, Mbappe, and says that while they may have a team, they all believe in the ideal of individualism to a certain degree. The same goes with many others who have made it to the World Cup. This applies to all sports. They have an ego and belief in themselves overwhelmingly. You cannot be the best if you don't have the ego to... He then comes to a stop when he sees the crowd making way for someone, who walks up the steps and meets Ego face to face. Everyone becomes quiet. Can I just get in? I'll join. I really don't care. No offense. This makes Ego grow a gigantic grin, as he would say to go right ahead, and the wall would open up to be a gate, and Isagi would just simply walk through it. He's really just gonna go? Who even is that guy? Does he not care about his team or something? And that's why I chose you, Yoichi Isagi, thinks Ego. As Isagi walked down the hall, he begins to think about why they give a damn about their teams to begin with, and wonders if any of them will even come. But he stops and begins to hear rumbling. As he turned, all he saw was people, alike to beasts, their eyes blazing and full of passion. They would run past him as if chasing after something. Why? I thought they weren't going to. This. Grabbing his chest in confusion, it was as if his soul had finally been lit ablaze. He turns and starts to walk faster, jogging until he went into a full-on sprint. Maybe I'll stick around for a little bit more. With this, the start of Blue Lock begins. All participants are put on buses and driven to the facility where they are told to enter and are given uniforms, with Isagi heading to the room designated as Z. When he enters the room, he opens the door and sees 11 people. All look at him when he enters because, well, they recognize him as the first guy to go forward and wonder how he is, well, gonna play, because even if he doesn't mean to, Isagi is a bit intimidating as it's hard to tell what he's thinking and he's just completely, well, you just can't tell. It's a weird feeling. When you can't read someone, you don't know what to make of them. He then starts walking to a locker when he would then dodge and catch a flying shirt from Kunigami, who apologizes. Sorry, I sent it flying by accident. Walking past him, Isagi hands it back to him saying that it's okay, and he goes to the locker furthest to the left. He opens it up and will start undressing. When he takes his shirt off, however, they're all surprised to see that he is surprisingly skinny. He's not anorexic or anything, but he doesn't seem athletic either. Does he really play? Thinks Kira. Isagi, as he finishes dressing, then is greeted by Igarashi, I'll just say Igarashi, who then shook his hand as he had done the same for everyone in the room. Nice to meet you. You look real skinny, huh? It figures, I don't do sports. Wait, you don't play any? Isagi would shake his head, making them wonder why the hell he was even here and why he was chosen. And at that point, Iga would then show himself on the screen in the room. Oh, you're finally done. The people in that room are now both your rivals and roommates. And for those of you who may be wondering, we have assigned you a number based on your potential and ranking here. He then said their rankings will change daily based on how much they grow and show potential, and 6 months from now, the 5 best players from Blue Lock will enter a tournament. I could be wrong about that. I'll have to check the manga source, but if I am, tell me, and I apologize. Also, those who were defeated at Blue Lock are banned from Japan's national team. Okay, now time to play tag. Wait, what? You're telling us this now? We can't ever play football ever again if we fail? From above drops the ball as Ego says the game will last for 136 seconds. The player with the possession of the ball is it, but whoever is it or hit when the timer runs out can get the hell out of here. Being the number 300, Igarashi is shown to be the first to be it by default, leaving them all surprised that the game is starting already. The hell, give us more of an explanation, said Raichi. Igarashi then gets ready as he walks to the ball and apologizes, but he has to do this, and he kicks off as he starts running to a corner full of participants. Sorry, Isagi, I'ma just get you out first. He would then blast the ball at him, making all those in the corner run away in a panic because they're still not ready, but as he watches the ball approach, Isagi will receive it by slamming it down with the bottom of his foot. When it's bouncing up, he instantly blasts it back with a direct shot that slams into Igarashi's stomach, making him choke and making him fall to the floor. Everyone present is surprised. Isagi then starts walking, and he goes to be by himself. Sorry, I didn't want to get hit. That control, thinks Kira. That's inhuman. That guy's definitely played before, thinks Kunigami. Why did he lie? As those in the corner clear out, they all realize that Isagi is definitely not someone they should underestimate, but now they start spreading out as Igarashi will be forced to go back on the offensive, and he's really annoyed. So he goes for the easiest target, the sleeping Bachira, who would then kick him as he tries to hit him with the ball. As his nose bleeds, Igarashi then yells, Jesus, hey, that's gotta be a foul. As Isagi stood, however, he said, well, Ego doesn't seem to care. So, sorry, just woke up. Also, aren't you a monk? Why did you say Jesus? Shut up! Kunigami saying this then reprimands him, saying that he hates that dirty play and that he should play fair. What are you, some good Samaritan? Said Bachira. At this moment, Kunigami is tagged by Igarashi, who hits him in the face with the ball before proceeding to cheer, angering him as he then kicks it back at Igarashi at insane speed and with a lot of power behind. But as Igarashi dodges, Bachira actually runs in and receives it as it bounces back, and he mags Igarashi before he runs to Isagi. If you want to win, you gotta go for the strongest, he said. With 10 seconds on the clock, he runs for Isagi, who remains emotionless and just leaning in the corner, and he would blast it. But Isagi would simply move out of the way as it bounces back towards Bachira, only for it to then be taken back by Isagi, who moves at incredible speed, receiving the ball as he leaps. He lands and continues to run before blasting the ball, and much to his horror, Kira will be hit across the face. His nose is crushed and it leaks with blood just as the clock hits 0. Why did he go for me? I thought he was gonna stay out of this, thought Kira. My body just moved. Looks like you lose, said Isagi. Eagle then shows up saying that he is eliminated, and these words shake the young man to his core as he staggers up, checking his face. He flies into a rage. Why the hell would you ruin the future of a prominent talent like me? Take out Igarashi instead. I'm a national treasure. He then says that this has nothing to do with football anyway, but as he and Eagle argue, he shows that everything that they did was related to football up to the time of the game itself. Players usually possess the ball on an average of 136 seconds, Eagle said. You were given the same opportunity you would have had in a game. You wasted that chance. Strikers are people who attack until the last second. Yuichi Isagi already determined that none of you were a threat, so when the time came to be, he chose the closest one to him, merely out of convenience. Bachira aimed for the strongest with all his strength. These are examples of egoism. To do as they please without worrying for the team. You lose. As he hears this, Kira only gets more mad as he clenches his teeth and stares at Isagi, while Isagi just showed a look of indifference, and Kira storms out as he leaves. If you were scared, shocked, then this test worked. You survived that feeling. Remember that, because that's just a taste of what Blue Lock has waiting for you. From now on, you are Team Z. These words reinvigorate the 11 who get ready for their next challenges. Those challenges are a bit hard at first for Isagi, but by day 3 he already has way more prowess. He has a lot of stamina already because all he did when he was bored was sometimes run. It was the only thing that he couldn't predict in life. He didn't know how far he could push himself, and it gave him an exhilarating feeling at least. But he can only jump at an average height right now. Regardless, this put him in the rank of 289 as number 1 on the team because he's by far the doggest motherfucker like here, present. After this, he and everyone go to the cafeteria, walk up to a scanner with a tray. Isagi scans his number and gets a plate of rice, meat, and vegetables, while those of lower rank get the most basic meals. And after that, soon night falls and it's time to go to sleep. But Isagi is bored and gets out of Team Z's shared room and heads to the gym. This is still pretty boring, but I guess it gives me something to do. As he walks down the hall, however, he feels something and holds his arm back as he catches a football. He turns to see Bachira. How do you always do that? What? It's like you know what's gonna happen before it does. Isagi lets the ball down and steps on it, asking what he wanted, and Bachira says he wanted to play against the strongest. Or Team Z. I'm average at best. I don't really mind. Because Bachira is so unrelenting, Isagi says sure, and they had the indoor training field and they go to the over there and they go to play. Bachira lets Isagi have the ball first. Just score 1 goal. That's it. Isagi then looks down at the ball, asking why he wants to do this, and with a change of demeanor, Bachira runs, saying, "There's a monster lurking inside me, and he told me to go get you." As he reaches and goes to strike for the ball, Isagi will pull it back. In a split second, before spinning around Bachira, he holds the ball in his right foot. In response to this, Bachira quickly turns and runs after him before going to tackle, but Isagi lifts up his leg, bringing the ball up as it doesn't even toggle or wiggle off his feet. In the same movement, he then throws it up and forward before running and kicking it as it falls back down, blasting it into a corner as it curves along the way in a kind of bizarre pattern. Bachira then looks up at him, saying that he's awesome. You can really tell. Call it a party trick. Trick, huh? I mean, I have one too. Moments later, they reset the match with Isagi still having the ball first, not Bachira, but Bachira dashes after him even faster now with a huge smirk. Staying close, he tries everything to kick the ball away despite Isagi avoiding him at every turn. However, it's as if the two were dancing. They were stuck in an endless back and forth. This guy, he's so immersed that it's making me want to try. Isagi finally begins to do more with his legs, actually dribbling and running around more, which excited Bachira to chase after him even more. And at that moment, Isagi had become the monster that Bachira always played with. The two then come to a stop as they look up and hear a system voice call for them to their room. So they check out the new rankings over there. As Team Z gathers, Igarashi would say, "Look, I'm not 300 anymore, Isagi. I'm 275. Why the hell would he care, said Raichi. He's already back at the top. Look. Pointing to his shoulder, Raichi allures to his new number, which is now 265. And Isagi would genuinely be smiling for the first time, putting them all off a bit. Showing up on the monitor, Ego then says that they all have already gotten their new ranks and explains that there are many teams here, and if anything, they're trash. So I gotta play with these shits, huh? Asked Raichi. The hell did you just say? Igarashi asks. Who's trash? Kunigami shouts. Come on, let's all calm down. Gohan tries to make this, a little bit better, but Ego says it is what it is. People in the other blocks are living different lifestyles fitting other skills and get much better treatment. If you want better, show more. Luckily for you, it's time for the first selection. Explaining everything, Ego says that they will basically be playing a tournament, and this will include 55 of them, but in the end, only 2 teams will move on to the next selection. Wait, all 11 of us? But we're strikers, says a confused Chigiri. Yudai says, looks like we're gonna have to cover for other positions then. How about you be goalie, Iman? Come on, don't do that. I have a hard time refusing stuff, he would answer. I guess that settles it then. I'm center forward, said Raichi. Everyone starts to argue instantly because they want to be forward, while Bachiro and Isagi are just chilling because they will do as they please regardless of whatever they pick. Ego would then say that he doesn't really care how they position themselves. You might as well all play forward if you want. In the beginning, the sport had all players do so. You can have tactics and whatever, but the goal here is to fix your knowledge of football from the scratch. For Isagi, he means it's your first time. I'll manage. I was never planning on doing anything else but score, but it seems a lot more fun now. Hearing this from him, they all get chills, as this is also the first time Isagi has ever shown interest, but they're not going to back down and say not to get ahead of himself because he's also the rival. They will then learn more about the rules, and hours later are given their jerseys before stepping out to meet Team X. But they actually don't see Team X yet, so they just begin to stretch, taking the fresh air, and eventually a door opens with Team X making their entrance, being full of fire, and leading them will be Baro. As the kickoff is announced, everyone is positioned on the field, and Isagi holds the ball at his foot and looks at the enemy before lowering his stance and running while kicking the ball forward. He would find 3 people charging at him already, but in a strange twist, though he had not really learned soccer that much, he flicks the ball up into a rainbow and runs at incredible speed, catching it with his chest and leaving the 3 behind in the dust. The hell, over the 3 of us? On the way, however, he abruptly stops as Raichi, who tries to bump into him, falls over. Sorry, Isagi said, as he then ran past him easily, and would then grab the ball with both legs before jumping up, dodging Kunigami, who was trying to slide tackle him. You ain't going anywhere. As Isagi lands, he finds himself cornered and everyone charges at him randomly and he loses the ball. Everyone's just going crazy. No one is trying to play with each other. Before they realize it, however, Baro charges in and comes out the other end with the ball, and instantly, Isagi runs and catches up to him. Can I have that back? Get the hell out of my face. He goes to bump into Isagi only to feel air as Isagi with a duck slips past him and swipes the ball all in 2 seconds and left him shocked as he then runs to the other goal already, and with ease he would make everyone who was coming at him, though a bit amateurly, and while he was going in zigzags he then shoots a direct shot into the corner of Team X's goal, leaving all those present shocked. As he wipes his sweat, Isagi will be getting into a sort of zone. Don't ever think you have the upper hand over me. If anything, you might as well be standing still to me. This would make Baro rage as his veins bulge. I'm gonna kill you, peasant. Does that make you the king then? Asked Isagi. His teammates are surprised someone could even steal the ball from someone like Baro because he has this natural presence, and honestly, they weren't very confident about it. It reminds me of that other guy. You mean Nagi? Yeah. In the next play, I'll show you the difference between us, you bitch. Instead of cheering for Isagi, as the score shows 1 for their team and 0 for X, Team Z would get hyped up and get pissed, almost vengeful. Though it is a bit positive, I guess, in that sense, since they're gonna get a bit more serious. That play made no sense. No sense at all. I can't stand it, Gagamaru would say. He begins to stare daggers at Isagi, who would nervously say he just went with what needed to be used in the moment. Then a voice says to hurry up and reset, so Baro takes the ball as he walks past Isagi before setting it down in the center. But as soon as he does, he sees Isagi zoned in on him specifically with a ready to kill attitude. "You're not the king here, I am," Baro said. "Then prove it." Baro kicks off and instantly runs past him, but sticking close, he and Baro quite literally go up and down the field with no one being able to enter their back and forth. Getting really annoyed though, Baro focuses more and finds an opening as he megs Isagi while running to get the ball. But as his eyes narrow, Isagi reaches back and kicks the ball forward, megging Baro as he takes his next step. What? He couldn't have known where the ball was, thinks Baro, unless it was pure instinct? It wasn't, by the way. He could literally see it all in slow motion. Isagi then chases after a ball and reels it to the right. Baro runs back at him and he would be ready to get him. He's right behind him. So instead of running with it, Isagi passes to Bachira, who smiles when he receives it. You sure about that? Running past him already, however, Isagi says to hurry up and pass, and he would smile running forward and pass. Well, he's about to pass. He's intercepted by Igarashi, but he megs him and he passes to Isagi, who is met by someone from Team X. Doing a fake out to the left, he makes him fall over, getting his ankles, before then running to the right and passing to Bachira up ahead. They keep going back and forth until the ball returns to Bachira, but it is stolen from him by Baro, who begins to run the opposite way. "Quick, support him," Team X would say. But once again, instantly, the ball is taken back by Isagi, who kicks it to Bachira with a slight tackle, and taking the chance, Bachira blasts it into the net. How does he keep doing that? I literally can't see him. Is he disappearing? Is that allowed? Now Team Z was at 2 while Team X still had 0, and Baro wants to strangle Isagi but knows that will not help. However, as the game continues, he and his team keep falling and falling. Slowly though, even though he's not realizing it, Isagi gathers Team Z to work with him, passing and coordinating. Instead of fighting each other, he turns 0 to 1. As they end up at 10 to 0. And even after halftime, they had no chance of getting any goals past Team Z. Team X couldn't make a comeback. Falling to his knees, Baro falls into despair at having been usurped of his throne. Meanwhile, Team Z roars with passion and sweat. I lost to that bastard? He looks to Isagi, who isn't even paying attention to him and is instead trying to pry Bachira off of him from hugging him. At the end, they go back to the locker rooms. The two teams get to clear their minds. They rehydrate. But Isagi in their locker room will be in deep sleep just in the corner. And Naruhaya asks, "Okay, you can hate it, but that shit was awesome, okay? Shut up, I'm still gonna be the center. I just gotta steal." Kuon, however, says, "No, stop thinking like that." They all look to him, and he says that if it wasn't for Isagi and Bachira, but mostly Isagi, Baro would have destroyed them. He's also unpredictable. At times he chooses simply to not do anything because he feels like it. Isagi is only thinking about himself. We have to think more about this. He wasn't trying to bring us together, but he did. Getting quiet, they all realize that he's right, just as Bachira would then walk out from the shower, completely naked. "I just passed Isagi and it works out. Or I run. Put some goddamn clothes on," says Kunigami. Looking to Isagi, they see him wake up as he grabs a towel and says that he'll be using the shower. "Also, you guys are thinking about this too much. That evil glasses guy wants us to build a foundation with a monster at the reins. A leader. That's all." As this hits them, they would simply, just kind of do a little, return to back to basics. And they're trying to strategize. And Isagi would simply go to the shower where Raichi said, "By that, you mean the leader being you?" As he closes the door, Isagi says, "Don't care. I'm still just gonna score however I want." "I swear I'm gonna kill that bastard," Raichi thinks. However, Ego is then showed on the screen. "Listen up, you unpolished gems. A match just ended with Team V trampling Y with a score of 8 to 0. "The hell?" yells Igarashi. Naruhaya then remarks that they must be pretty strong, and the team they seem to be heading to face is quite powerful. They're going to be facing them soon. But Ego takes this time to ask what they can do to develop their own weapons, a skill unique to them that they can use to win. And Isagi hears it all. "Damn, he's loud. My weapon, huh?" After this, they determine their weapons. For Bachira, it's his dribble. For Kunigami, it's his striking force and complete physicality overwhelming people, and so on. But Isagi says he doesn't feel like he has a weapon, and so they're given a day before their next match. They have to work together, they practice a little bit, start rebuilding their foundation, becoming an actual team, even if they're all trying to be a little bit selfish for themselves. But as night falls, we find Isagi with his head at the table, and he's at the cafeteria. He still had not found his weapon, so it kind of got him down. Oh, Isagi. He looks up and he sees Kunigami, who then sits beside him. You okay, man? You know me. Perfect. Well, I wanted to say thanks for the passes. Oh, no problem. Why did you join this place, by the way? I mean, don't you have a team or whatever? You sound like you don't, said Kunigami. You don't have one at all? Shaking his head, he sits back saying that he's never played football seriously. He's played like one game, which his parents kind of like talk about too much. But lately, he's been feeling like it's becoming more fun. Is that normal? I wanted to become a football superhero. That sounds ridiculous. As he pops a vein, he says that it's just what he wants. I say, if you like this, then keep going. I'm going to become what I want, fair and square. That's all. Even if it means beating you. Smiling, Isagi thanked him for being honest. Let's win the next game together. Holding up his fist, him and Kunigami would, bump fists. And he says that he's been a bit weird today, a bit more talkative. And Isagi says, yeah, you don't have to tell me twice. The next day, Team Z gathers at the field as Team W would be before them with two particular twins giving off creepy vibes amongst them. But they knew that they were the ones they had to watch out for the most. And honestly, they're not really worrying about this team that much. They're worrying about the team with Nagi on it. Keisuke says to his twin, hey, that's the guy that scored half the goals himself. Look at him, okay? Okay? Looking back at Keisuke, Junichi gives off the same angry look as he always does, and yet somehow his twin understood completely as his teammates told him to be careful. They're gonna kick off first anyway. As Igarashi gets ready with the ball under his foot, they are told to begin and he runs off. Everyone scrambles for the ball and Igarashi passes to Yudai, who receives it and is swarmed but hands it off to Isagi, who instantly sends shivers down everyone's back as he charges forward. Defense is put on him, only for everyone in his way to be magged as he reaches the goalie, who he blasts the ball past, scoring their first goal. Gathering around him, the team celebrates, including himself, as by this point, Isagi had easily become the foundation of the team, and he had really gotten to, actually love the sport, so he can be a little bit riled up, even if he's usually monotone and stoic all the time. And the twins were pissed. Their whole team felt as though this was already a lost match. Hey, it's you, Keisuke says. He points to Chigiri, who grows a nervous sweat as the twins walk off, with him saying that he's lucky he's on the team with Isagi. We both know your football career's already over. That's what my big bro says. As these words hit him, his right knee shivers, making him remember an old memory and how much he disliked these two people. Running past him though, Team Z asks for him to stop looking so down. Yeah, we're on a good start, man. Let's destroy them. Sure, said Chigiri. Sorry about that. Team W will then get the ball and start the kickoff as the twins, filled with vengeance, run forward and demonstrate some actually very good teamwork, getting past many until a tackle comes from Igarashi. Ha! Got you. Annoying shrimp, Keisuke thinks. The ball is then passed to Bachira, who as he gets it, blasts it to the other side. Kuon, get it! Kuon, upon getting the ball, approaches through the air, and despite being guarded, he would use his incredible leaping power to chest the ball, much to Bachira's surprise. He thought he was going to header it into the goal, and instead, he blasts it with his foot, scoring a goal. From that distance, Kakamaru said, dude, that's just cheating. Good going, man. In the following moments, Team Z would easily gather 5 points from Isagi getting a bit serious, but Kuon surprisingly was just on fire today, and Isagi just kept passing to him since he was so good today. Halftime then came, and they took a break. When they came back, the kickoff begins with Z as Raichi starts off. Finally, get ready to eat my dust. Already, however, the angry Junichi has caught up to him and started guarding him, bothering the player just as Kuon asks for a pass, and Raichi kicks it over, saying that he better give it back. As he receives it, Kuon says, don't worry, In that instant, the ball would then be stolen by Keisuke, who with a big smile rushes to Team Z's goal. What the hell, man? The twins meet up and head for the goal together as they see Isagi in their path, and they just need to get him out of the way. And honestly, they were getting nervous. So they rush with Keisuke and Junichi splitting as he passes to his brother. However, instantly the ball is kicked to Bachira via Isagi's tackle right as the ball was about to reach his twin. What? How the hell did he time that? Thanks for the pass, Isagi. Bachira then ran past Mini and passed up ahead to Gagamaru, who headers it into the goal, much to the surprise of the goalie who couldn't react fast enough. Let's go! Woo! Running back to their side, Team Z's excitement simply grows and grows with them seeing their win already, but then Isagi walks to Chigiri as everyone feels something is about to happen because Isagi never really does this. As he comes face to face with a surprised Chigiri, he asks, "Well, aren't you doing anything?" Huh? I mean, we're doing pretty fine. That's your fucking excuse, right? She yells. I got my own shit going on. Fuck off. They're gonna last, well, like a few matches, and that's all. If you're not gonna show anything, is it gonna take those weird twins to make you feel like doing something? Because I feel like kicking you off the team. I know I can't do that, but I don't want to carry someone who isn't gonna do anything. Move your legs. Walking past them, Isagi says, "Let's keep going." "Oh, you don't gotta tell me twice. Pass to me next time." No, me. If I feel like it. Oh my god, we're so done. That guy is a monster. How do you stop someone like that? Grinding their teeth, the twins only get more agitated, and in the next play, they get the ball, but as they run forward, Isagi already snatches the ball with him finding 4 people before him. "Don't let him get past you at all costs," Keisuke yells. Swerving to the right, Isagi would then snap back to the left with such explosiveness that all the 4 would fall on top of each other, with him then running past them. Isagi then looks back to Chigiri with eyes full of anger. "Move, goddammit, don't you want to pass?" This anger catches Ichigiri off guard, with old memories beginning to flow back, while everyone asked for a pass, yet Isagi just kept running, looking back to Chigiri, duking people, and he wasn't going to pass to any of them. He wanted Chigiri to come get it. And Chigiri thinks, Don't taunt me like that, Isagi." Blasting forward with explosive speed on instinct, Chigiri surprises everyone and himself as well, and as he lands on what he thought would be his busted or at least hurting leg, after one attempt of running, it doesn't hurt. "I can go faster. Accelerate. Accelerate." In record time, he flashes past Isagi, snatching the ball, with the twins being incredibly shocked. "Were you hiding that speed?" Kuon yells. Reaching the goalie, Chigiri sees him running over to come intercept him, but he goes even faster, and as the goalie jumps to get him, he raises the ball and jumps over past him, making the ball reach the goal. As a long silence would fill the air, Chigiri shouts with all his strength at having scored his first goal, leaping into the sky. This was his beginning at Blue Lock. Gathering around him, the Rao team cannot believe the incredible speed he had just displayed. "Dude, where did that come from?" Yudai said. I don't know, I just didn't want to let the goal be taken." Walking over, Isagi says, "Why don't you do that from the beginning?" Cracking a smile, Chigiri says that he baited him into it, and reaching his hand out, Isagi helps him stand. "And then you scored. It's a win-win. Keep running like that and I'll keep passing." Grabbing him by the collar, Raichi says to stop acting like he's the leader, with Isagi having a bored look, telling him to chill out, and everyone tries to calm Raichi down. But the outcome of this was already set, and Team Z dominated, crushing Team W completely. So after showers and resting in their rooms a little bit, they go to the cafeteria to just go eat a little bit. And along the way, Iemon says, "So our last opponent is Team V, and aside from us, they're one of the strongest squads here, so we gotta be careful." "Who gives a damn? Let's just crush them and move on," Raichi said. With Igarashi then say that's easy for him to say since he has nothing to do because Isagi's carrying them, and he says to shut up while Isagi just continues on ahead not caring. "I still don't know much about football, but as long as we use the same strategy we've been using, we'll win." "Oh, is that right?" Just then, Team Z takes notice of Reo, Nagi, and Zantetsu from Team V, who will be eating, with Reo then turning in his seat saying, "Seeing you in person makes it really hard to believe you're the same guy who beat all those people." Heading to get a tray, Isagi simply says thank you, not paying it any mind, with Zantetsu fixing his glasses as he says, "Don't think we'll just let you win, Yoichi Isagi. Your victory is unattainable. Far too out of your league." Did I say that right? Stop trying to sound smart, you idiot. Nagi at this point then turns and sees Isagi taking his seat far off as the others from the team get food as well, and he just asks, "Can I get a piggyback ride? I'm getting too tired from chewing the steak." Without even questioning it, Rhea puts him on his back and leaves with Zantetsu saying, "I admit you're a pretty good striker, but my protege won't lose to you." How are you saying that when you're literally giving him a piggyback ride and baby him though? Asked Naruhaya. "You'll see on game day," Zantetsu says. Until then. They would then leave with everyone starting to eat, and they now had the urge to trample them even more because they're annoying, except for Isagi because he really just enjoying his lunch. He don't care. But at that moment, Bachira jabs into his steak with a fork and goes to jab it at Isagi with them dodging effortlessly as Isagi keeps trying to, keep him at bay. Bachira is just doing it over and over and over. But Isagi's doing it with such ease that it looks like it was staged or something. "Cool. What's cool about trying to jab my eyes out?" Isagi said. "I mean, I'm trying to feed you, but I'm also trying to figure a weapon out." And I did. As he jabs again, Isagi dodges and does some matrix shit as he grabs the steak off the fork while literally swaying back. And he says, "I already figured it out a long time ago. It's my kinetic vision. Duh." Finally hearing his weapon as a player makes more sense now because his reactions are always so calm and fast. And they thought that he must have had just some insane physicality, but now it adds more depth to what he can do now. "That's more like a superpower, if anything," Kuwan said. "It's always been there for me, and because you took mine, I'm taking yours, Bachira." Grabbing a piece of Bachira's steak, he is lunged at by Bachira, who asks for it back. Isagi's dodging around, running off, and they leap about the room. "What are you two, monkeys? At least save your energy. If you get hurt, that's it for us," Iman said. "I mean, speak for yourself. I'll have to carry us then," Kunigami said. Raichi says, "Oh, you think so, huh?" "Yeah." As they begin to stare daggers at one another, with the wink, Yudai tells Igarashi, "You should take defender as your default position, man. Where the hell did that come from, you little shrimp? I'm taller than you." Breaking into horseplay, they have already, started going crazy, and it seems that this is how they all spend their time together. They can't ever just chill, but it's fine. I mean, I do that with my friends. As night falls, they gather in their room, just chilling, messing around, when Ego will show on the screen, catching their attention. "Hello, unpolished gems. Been a while. Let's discuss rankings again." He then shows the new rankings, still having Isagi at the top, with his number changing to... Let's say that I don't really know. I don't really care about this one. But he's the highest ranking person. You get the point. I don't want to keep shoving it in your faces. And Raichi, after saying this, says, "Are you kidding me? If you got a problem with it, then yeah, lock off," says Raichi. Stupid freaking glasses guy. Ego then gets into a new topic for them. "I need you all to achieve the repeatability of a goal, turning your flukes into something you can force into being when needed. Matches have irregularities abound, but to become a striker, you'll need to carve your own goal with sheer skill. Even if you don't think it's possible, you will make it into reality." His words moves and send shivers down their spines, remove chances from an equation and claim victory as a logical outcome. "See you around." He's then cut out with a time of 24 hours being put on the monitor, and we take a cut to a seething Baro on the training field, steaming from how much work he has done, his eyes filled with more and more ego as he is reminded of Isagi's face. "I'm gonna meet him again, and I'll destroy him. Him and that slave bastard." He refers to Nagi and Rhea, who has also beaten him and his team. The difference is, Isagi didn't need anyone to beat him. He could have done it all alone. Will he get his rematch? What is the next challenge for Blue Lock? Find out in the next part of Blue Lock. See ya. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace.